So my parents would preach that. Like, that was the one thing that, like, if I had a problem, they would want me to solve it. So I think that really helped me become more independent. And I think it's going to help me go into college as an independent man and, like, figuring things out on my own.
Welcome to the Thriving in the Middle podcast. Believe it or not, I chose to spend the rest of my life in middle school. I've been teaching for over 19 years, and my primary goal can be boiled down into one task: developing human potential. My three favorite educational words are autonomy, agency, and authenticity. There is nothing more authentic than hearing about the realities of middle and high school life directly from the students who have lived through it. Whether you're a parent looking for perspective, a teacher trying to better understand your students, or a student looking for some guidance, this podcast has something for everyone. The goal is to not only help you survive, but thrive during this complicated time of life. Ready? Let's thrive together. Today we're joined by Carson Murphy. Carson is a current senior at GHS in the graduating class of 2025. Just 3 more weeks to go here. Actually, I think even less than that for seniors. I had the pleasure of having Carson in my ELA classroom 5 short years ago. With only a few weeks to go, I know you're incredibly busy and you're forward focused, and I'm sure thinking about the next chapter. So I am so thankful that you took a moment out to come in and talk to us today. Hi, Carson.
Hi, Mr. Browder. Thank you for having me.
100%. I got a long-standing history with the Murphy family, which will take us into our first question here. You have 3 sisters. Yep. One of them actually, so Kayla was like the person that we handed our youngest son Hayes as an infant off to when we had to go back to work. She was the person who stayed and watched him. So she holds a special place in our heart for keeping our son safe. I'm curious a little bit. I had an older sister as well.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you can talk a little bit what it's like to be the youngest in a household full of girls with 3 older sisters, and how maybe that changed, what that was like, like kind of how they treated you, and then how that shaped maybe your worldview and how you saw things.
For sure. So having 3 sisters, when I was growing up, I always picked on them, and I was just the younger brother.
What kind of age would you say when it was more the like I'm gonna give them grief stage?
Like 8 to 12.
Okay, it was a long phase.
And then once I hit like 12, that's when we became like really close. Cause like when they went to college, I was at home by myself. So when they come back, it's like really when we. Was
that the stage for you? Was it the absence of them that kind of made the heart grow fonder? After they left the house, it was an appreciation of what you had?
100%.
Yeah.
That was a great way to explain it.
So my sister is 8 years older than I am, and I can say the exact same thing. I mean, we butted heads, and we were like, constantly fighting, and then she left. Yeah. I was like, oh, man. Yeah. So what's your message for listeners who are in the butting their head against their sibling stage?
Cherish the moments.
Yeah.
When they're gone, you're gonna really miss them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some good advice for sure. Cool. So, are they like mothers to you a little bit, or are they more? Was there a constant like I'm kind of trying to take care of him?
Yeah. So my oldest sister, Kayla.
Yeah.
She's more of the motherly one.
Yeah, and they all 3 moved back?
Yeah,
they're all local?
They're all in Columbus. So every Sunday night we have family dinner. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And that's a planned. I mean, that's on purpose. So every Sunday night is mom making dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And everybody comes back and sits around the table. Yeah, it's something that we used to have, and as a family, like we try, and we try to do it nightly. It's really hard with sports and all the things.
I bet that's
but we still try to and it's often now transitioned over to the island. Like we at least sit down together and try to ask the questions about how's your day and what's going on. I think that's something that's important. So that's cool you guys do that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So as a teacher, and I'd say even more so in the back end of my career, I've tried so hard to get students to take charge of their learning and to advocate for themselves. And it was a long time ago, but I do have this, and I actually pulled up I can still search my old emails, but I have this recollection and this memory that it was something that that you did, and so you would reach out via email when you had a problem. And
Mm-hmm.
the converse to that, the opposite of that, is that a parent reaches out and tries to advocate and say like, hey, I'm having this problem with, and I'm always like, well, I would love to hear from them because it's such an important skill. And it's something that when I was talking to your mom for this interview, she said it was something that they stressed, as a parent, when you were growing up. They're like, hey, we want you to go fight that battle. And so I'm wondering if you can just tell us, what was that? What was that a message that you heard? And is that something that you are intentional about? And what kind of advice, I guess, would you give students when they're sort of having problems?
Yeah, so my parents would preach that. Like, that was the one thing that, like, if I had a problem, they would want me to solve it. So I think that really helped me become more independent. And I think it's going to help me go into college as an independent man and, like, figuring things out on my own.
How'd it feel in the moment when, because, your parents are they fix things for you when you're really little, and they pick you up when you get hurt. And so it feels a little different sometimes probably when they're like, you go fix it. Like, you got to solve this thing.
No, it's definitely an adjustment because, your parents are always there for you. So when you got to go fix something on your own, it's kind of nerve-wracking. I mean, you don't know how it's going to go.
Are they problem solving with you in the background before you
Yeah. So they're a help. So, but ultimately it's up to me to go fix the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's huge. Great advice, great parenting advice.
Yeah.
You're there as the resource who has the life skill, and talk them through what the options are. And at the end of the day, though, they got to be the one that steps up and advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
And you said it's going to help you as you move into college, but even beyond that, it's
just a huge
it's
thing.
life. Like the problems will just keep coming. And so, the comfort and the willingness and the ability to feel like, oh yeah, I can solve my own problems is huge. Cool. Sure. I actually haven't talked about this a lot on the podcast, but I think it's time. So jumping into the time machine, you were a 7th grader when the entire world shut down due to COVID. I genuinely can't even, it feels like so long ago. I struggle to even remember it. As far as it seems like this distance thing that we've gone away from, but I'm wondering if you can just recollect a little bit of that. Like, what was that like for a student? How did you find out? What were you thinking? How did that feel? What did the end of that year feel like? I'm wondering what that was like for a 7th grader, as we're literally being told it's not safe to go outside.
Yeah, so I remember it was last period of the day, and we got a 2-week notice. I was like, these 2 weeks are going to be so nice.
Yeah.
Just having off of school, like, we're going to have these 2 weeks, we're going to come back, and then school again. But little did we know that we would be out for the whole summer.
Was there an announcement? I truly don't remember. Like, did we find out at school, or was it like an email?
I'm pretty sure there was an announcement.
So it was like,
we cleaned out our
things.
locker. Yeah.
Okay. Take your things home. We're taking a 2-week break.
Yep.
And did they say at school, like, there's some sort of sickness or virus, or was it?
I think they just said it 2 weeks.
Okay. And
but everybody
kind of knew what was going on. Yeah. Okay. And then what happened? So we go home.
Yeah, just go home. I mean, you had to like pass the time, which is kind of scary because you're just by yourself. You're isolated from everybody.
Yeah. What was learning like in that situation? So school was quote unquote still happening.
Yeah. So online. I mean, I was in 7th grade. I took it for granted, but I mean, it was interesting because we've never done anything online.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle to do my work sometimes.
Sure. Well, everything up until that point had been, I mean, somewhat scripted for you. Like, you come to school and they tell you what they need to do, and they make sure that you're doing it, and they keep you on task. And then we throw you back home at home by yourself and say, like, do all these things. We'll check in every now and then, or you can ask us questions if you need it. As a kid, you're like, yeah, right. Okay. I mean, I'm sure my kids, it was a lot of checking boxes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I feel like there was a couple assignments I was like, yeah, I got to really do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Did you feel like, I always think it's interesting, did you feel like you had more time? Like, were you getting your work done and asking a question of like, why did it take 7 hours to normally do this? And I'm done with all the things they wanted by noon.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what my thought process was. Because I would wake up, I would try to get my work done, and then I would just be done at 12 and then have the whole day. Yeah. So it was kind of nice. It was nice. So transition back, was that a easy transition? Hard? Was it? I didn't really personally mind it. Yeah. Because like coming to school, seeing all your friends, it's nice. Like having that 2 weeks where you couldn't see anybody, or actually that whole summer where you couldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back to school is kind of nice.
I think it reframed how awesome that really is, you
Yeah.
know, and we get I'll say this all the time now. I'm like, I'll go teach in a full bodysuit as long as I can be in person, as long as I don't have to do the remote thing again. Like I'll do whatever it takes to be in a classroom with other human beings.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it probably was a month in and we forget quickly about like, oh, I got to go to school again or work. But it's really a gift to be around other humans, and
100%.
you know, it's a pretty great place. Like you get to go hang out with your friends and in a pretty great building and learn.
Yeah.
So anything that you take away or you know, was that fleeting and kind of it's in the background now and moving forward, or does it ever like come back into your view frame at all, like just COVID or anything that it taught you, or that perspective of being around humans as a gift?
Yeah, I mean, just that. I mean, me and my friends really bonded during COVID too, because like we would go on long bike rides. We would try to find things to do outside. Which that was nice, getting outside, like being outside and having that time to ourselves.
Yeah, maybe being together even more important. Feel even more special.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so moving on to the next question. In preparing for this interview, your mom told me that you a couple times that you wouldn't be able to play basketball in college because of your size. So I'm sure you know probably multiple people said that to you.
Yeah.
However, that just was something that ignited a fire inside of you and pushed you harder. Where you know a lot of people would hear that and it would be this kind of defeating moment. So I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about that and your mindset and the transition and you know kind of where you're at now in the game of basketball.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that, and I use that hate as like fuel to my fire.
So was it people saying that from a position of like, you know, demeaning kind of moment, like it was from a place, some people saying it to try to be mean?
Yeah, and then I like growing up, I was a pretty good player, like, but college basketball is a whole nother level.
So what is it about you though that, I don't know, why is it a fire instead of something that extinguishes a flame?
Yeah, because I just love the game. I love the game. I play it every single day, and I just want to get better each day.
How do you determine? So was there anyone that was telling you from a realistic standpoint of like, man, you're really good, but this height thing is going to be a limiting factor, or was that more? It was mostly coming from people who were trying to get under your skin.
Yeah, people just trying to get under my skin and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you do it, and I don't know if it's just a personality thing, if it's, you know, something you watched growing up, but if you can take those things that people are saying to try to hold you back and turn them into fuel, like that's a pretty powerful position and platform to stand on. For sure. And so you use that as fuel and you double down and you're playing harder and practicing more and putting in the hours and didn't quit, and it came from a place of you loved the game of basketball. And so you played your high school year, and senior, and then what's that look like? The whole like, okay, I'd like to keep playing. How does that work? Like, what's the recruiting process look like? Like, how do you end up deciding I know you are playing in college. Like, how do you get to that point?
So
I guess, and when does that start? I'm sure it's probably way before senior year.
So recruiting, you should probably start getting recruited like junior year, and that's on my part because I didn't do the things that I needed to do after my junior year, which I had a pretty good year. I just didn't set myself up for success.
Was that because you were not thinking about playing in college, or was that because you're a junior in high school and you just weren't kind of doing the things sometimes?
And like I was getting good exposure. I just wasn't reaching out to college coaches.
Okay.
So then like going into my senior year, I was like 50-50 on what I was going to do. And by the end of the year, I was like, man, I just don't know what I would do if I just couldn't play basketball another 4 years.
Why were you 50-50 at the start versus you're like, gosh, I can't not play this sport? Was it the season or?
I wasn't really getting the attention from the coaches that I really wanted to. So like it kind of just like I was still working at basketball all summer because I knew like a part of me still wanted to play and do well during the season, but I just wasn't sure like where it was going to take me.
So you're saying junior year, if you're really seriously thinking about it,
start reaching out to coaches.
And how does that work? Is there like a online portal? Is it literally just emailing coaches?
Personally, I emailed a ton of coaches.
Okay.
Like I probably emailed every single school in Ohio.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I also suggest going to camps.
Okay.
I feel like camps get a lot of the good exposure that you need to get recruited by that school.
And is it a camp at that school?
Yeah.
Like, so you would go to their actual camp, and
Yeah.
then those coaches are going to get to see you play.
Yeah, and then I would reach back out to those coaches right after the camp.
Yeah.
So
Drop a little hint, a little reminder of who you are and that you were just at that camp.
Yeah.
Email, do you send video? Or is it mostly just name and conversation?
So I built like a portfolio basically, and I would have my highlight tape, and then I would just have like all my like introductions, my awards that I had earned and stuff like that.
Do you build that? Is it like a standalone video, like a file that you send on, or are you building that on YouTube, or is that?
Yeah, so our huddle, you can just create a highlight video off of that, and then I would attach it to the email.
Is that standard? Is that like pretty much the norm?
Yeah.
And so Huddle is a online video platform that all the games are uploaded onto. And is that where you guys are watching films and you can go in as an athlete, a student athlete, and pull your own footage and film and put highlight reels together?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Anybody help you with that, or is that just something you got to kind of figure out?
Yeah, it's kind of you got to figure it out on your own, but it's super simple to do.
Pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And where are you playing next year?
Ohio Wesleyan.
Ohio Wesleyan. And you're coming in as a freshman. Is it like kind of like I'll not play for a couple years? Do they have a?
No, I think if I keep working like I'm working right now, I think I have the potential to get some minutes as a freshman and just keep building my way up. Nice.
Is the team, like when you look at a college and a team and somewhere you might want to go play for, is there thought into like upperclassmen, how many seniors, juniors, who's going to graduate, where am I going to be playing, or was it?
that definitely goes into it, because like Ohio Wesleyan last year, they graduated 6 seniors, so they have a really young team, which sets me up for success.
Yeah.
So
very cool. And it's D3.
Yep.
And I always just bring this up because I don't know that every, especially younger kids who are athletes, D3 schools can't offer athletic scholarships themselves.
But they can do academic scholarships.
And so if they like you as an athlete, they're going to look at your academics and they're going to try to find some ways to give you money to come play there.
Yep, which is a huge thing.
It's huge, right? But there's no actual tie to, once you're in there and you're playing, there's no connection between you playing the sport and the funds that they've offered you. Like that's just kind of a you got to have academics behind your athletics
100%,
for them to be able to like help you out. Like they can't just throw academic money at anybody. So it's important to keep your grades up and all those things. They're looking for both of those, an athletic student as well as an academic. Cool. All right. So your mom described you also as somebody that works really hard at everything except for, this is a great transition from our last question, except for maybe your schoolwork. And she said that you've mentioned personally once or twice that maybe you would have studied a little bit harder in school. And I mean, I think I absolutely can relate to this. And just being transparent, it took me until like probably my sophomore, junior year of undergraduate and college before I kind of really started to apply myself and kick it into gear. So I don't think that's totally not the norm. What was it? Like, what do you think it was when you're looking back at your middle school, high school? What was preventing you from giving it your 100%?
Honestly, like I just looked at it like just an everyday thing. I just was like super passive about it. But like once I got into high school, I was like, all right, I really need to start applying myself.
Is that because it's a high school GPA? Like, is that the mindset of like, I know this is coming with me, and is it distractions? Like, was it I'd rather be doing other things as a middle schooler, or was it just not relatable at the moment? Like, what do you think was? And I asked this, I'm digging from my own personal, like, I, as a middle school teacher, it's my number, like, what can I do to motivate students more? Because we know that it's foundational. Like, I know it's going to build, and we're building out skill sets. And I'm like, oh, by the way, you could hustle these next 2 years and be so far ahead of everybody else who's just doing the middle school thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm always looking like, what is it? Like, how could we reach these students in a way to like sell to them how important or how advantageous it could be to like hustle?
Yeah.
What do you think was?
My thing was like trying to find something that like engages me in like schoolwork. Yeah. Because like I feel like some things are just like not my thing, and that's okay. I mean,
sure.
Like some some things fit certain people, and that was my thing, just trying to find something that works best for me.
Was there anything that did check those boxes or ignited a fire along the way that you were like, oh man, this is cool, or engaged you in a deeper way than other things that maybe didn't?
I really like history.
Yeah.
Just learning about like how like the world unfolded and everything. Just
Sure.
learning new things.
Is there a specific modality, like, do you prefer as a learner like group work, or even when you're thinking about history, is it like reading about history? Is it the presentation? Is it trying to like take history and adapt it and figure out how it communicates or how it helps us understand our
Yeah.
current world? Like what's your thing?
I prefer group work because
Yeah.
I like working with other people. I like knowing like what they're thinking, what I'm thinking, and then like comparing, contrasting.
Yeah. Do you think there's distractibility to that too, or and I don't have a great frame of reference of what a high schooler feels like, and
Yeah.
so is it a little like down here group work can get a little distracting, and it's 100% developmentally appropriate because
Yeah.
their number one goal is to be social. Like
Yeah.
that truly is it's their priority. It's like when you think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's genuinely what the need that they need met more than anything else, and then hopefully we can get them to like learn and study a little bit. And so I don't know up there, is it a little more academic, a little more rigor when you
Yeah.
think about
Well,
group work?
it really all depends. If you get like your friends in a group, then
Sure.
you can get kind of off tasks
Yeah.
sometimes. But like if the teacher places you in like a random group, I feel like it's just work from there.
Yeah. My graduate work was so easy, a straight A student, and it 100% was just because of the cohort of people that
Yeah.
I started to hang around with, and they were very academically minded, and we still had a lot of fun, and but they just kind of turned it on in a different way, so that who you're learning with thing kind of matters.
Yeah.
But man, you want to pick who you work with. Like, so I do a lot of with my groups. I'm like, who do you want? Like, pick your own groups. But that also can be a detriment because you pick your friends and then you're distracted because you
don't get any work done.
I know, but I also feel like if you could pick your friends and you turned it on, so you're enjoying who you're working with and what you're doing, it could be this like beautiful thing. But that's a pretty mature thing to ask sometimes, I think. So what kind of advice? You're looking at your 7th grade, 8th grade freshman self. What would you tell yourself?
Just lock into academics and take it really seriously because you don't want to look back like I did and just regret not taking it seriously.
Yeah, and you are digging some holes a little bit, whether it's in information or learning or your ability. Even like something as simple as writing. Like the more reps you do and the more seriously you take it, then those things get easier as the content gets harder.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, digging in. It's easy to say, hard to do for sure. But all right, cool. So we are going to move into our next set of questions, and these are questions that I ask every guest. They're kind of geared towards middle school, high school students that are coming behind you, and trying to help them maybe navigate the next 4 or 5 years of their lives a little smoother. Cool. So if you could go back and tell your middle school self anything that would have made navigating middle school and high school or a little bit easier, what would you go back and tell yourself?
Just take one day at a time. I would not stress about the future because the most important thing right now is just what is in that day.
Yeah. How do you juggle that with the last comment we said about really like sort of thinking about your future and I mean, I think there is a great answer to this, and I think they both need to be said, but this worry about your future, lock in, really hustle, but then also like live for today and in the moment, and what like how do you differentiate between those two?
There's like certain things you have to stress about your future, but there's also some things you don't have to stress about your future, which are really easy to stress about.
You got it, for example?
Like, so junior year, I had no idea, or senior year, I didn't even know where I was going into college. Like, I committed 2-3 weeks ago. I had no idea where I was going. So I like told myself, I'm just going to take one day at a time. I know I trust the plan, see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are, I mean, my oldest son like already has this like idea and plan in place of where he wants to go to college. He's already stressing about those things, and to your point, like those are decisions that'll be made so far down the line that that's not really the stressor. It's locking in on the day. Like today, what can I do to be the best version of myself and get a little bit better than I was? And if you stick to that, as you said, the plan, then when you look back over 5 years and you're now ready to make that decision, you've got a lot of options and you positioned yourself to be the best possible version to go wherever you need to jump to next.
For sure.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Unfortunately, stress it's increasing, and so it's increasing at earlier ages in middle school. They actually say like kindergarten is the new second grade, which is crazy that if you think about like how it's going all the way back to when school starts. But I think all of that is just sort of increasing more and more stress, and I see it as my middle school students, and then I know at high school, and it doesn't really go away either. As an adult, I'm still managing stress. So I'm wondering what you found. You're at the end of the K-12 journey here. Yeah. What do you do to manage stress?
So there's a couple of things I like to do to manage my stress. I like to personally work out. That just like clears my mind completely and gives me like a fresh start. It gives me like, same with basketball. That's why I love basketball. It just like clears my mind when I play.
Does basketball is it ever the stressor, or is it mostly the thing that provides?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
There's stress that comes with it, but like when I like put that like aside, it's why I love basketball.
Yeah.
Because it keeps my mind clear.
Yeah, there's so much research out there about movement and activity, and it's why sedentary life is so bad for you in so many ways. But I actually heard this great quote that it said, taking action is the antidote to anxiety. And I feel like any kind of action, and it doesn't even have to be action to the thing that's causing you anxiety, but just getting up and doing something and taking some sort of action in your life helps you deal with whatever that anxiety is. And I think working out is one of those things where you go in and you do it and you feel good about it, and you're doing it for your health, and you are on the other side, and it just helps you feel better about whatever the thing. It's a distractor. Whatever the thing was that was bothering you. How would you describe your relationship with technology? And you can think about that as far as, you guys had Chromebooks your entire time, right?
Yeah.
You also have phones, and you have social media, and technology is we could dip into AI if you want.
Yeah.
But what's your relationship with all those things? And then what kind of advice would you offer middle school, high school students in terms of how they should navigate technology over the next 4 years?
Technology has completely changed. So right now, if I don't understand something completely, or I want to know something, I chat GPT it, and it explains it perfectly to me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a helpful thing.
It's amazing.
But you can also use it for the wrong things.
Yeah.
You can so I try to use it for the right things, try to learn.
Well, I think the key there was that you said when you don't understand something, you can get it to explain it to where you do understand it. You're not looking for it to do the work. You're looking for it to help you do the work.
Yeah.
So as a tool, AI is, it's amazing. It is
wild.
And I'm a little sad, and part of it is due to the Senate bill that was passed, and our students don't have access to those things at the middle school. They've kind of locked all the AI platforms, not from a standpoint, and I think all teachers were pretty on board we're not worried about them cheating, and we really wanted them to have access because that's how the world's going to work. It's not going away. It's going to continue to get more robust and advanced, and we wanted them to work inside of it to have productive conversations around it, because it is such a powerful tool. And you can ask the internet too, pretty much. You can do a Google search, and they're using a lot of AI in the background, but ChatGPT it's pretty cool.
It is really cool. It's crazy the things you can ask it anything, and it comes up with the answer. It's wild. Even
technology issues, we're sitting in this room with all these gadgets and cameras, and if there's something that I can't get it to do, I can ask ChatGPT, and it will provide me a step-by-step of here's how to fix your problem in a really profound way. All right, so how about your cell phone? What's your life like in terms of that? Is it another? It's no different than ChatGPT in that it can be a tool, but it can also be a hindrance. What's that look like for you?
So I try not to be on my phone as least as possible, because I feel if I'm on my phone way too much, I just feel slumped. I like
Yeah.
don't want to do anything.
Is there anything you do to actively manage or monitor that, or
I
is
just
it just a mindset of?
Yeah, it's kind of just a mindset. I try to distract myself with other things, so I'm not on it as much.
Yeah, you can't be on your phone if you're playing basketball or working out or
Yep.
filling your life with other positive activities.
Mhm.
It's when you become sedentary and you're sitting
Yeah.
around and you're bored.
Yeah.
I'm battling whenever I have a moment where I'm sitting somewhere, it could be at the DMV, it could be
Yeah.
of not instantly pulling that thing out,
Mhm.
as a crutch of like, I have this void time, because I feel like that's when our brain actually thinks. That's when we come up with great ideas. We meet people, look around. So that's a problem for me, of like just the reflex, it feels like, of
Yeah.
like,
No. Yeah, for sure.
I pull out my phone. How about social media?
Social media. I mean, I feel
Have you
like
been on, like, when
Yeah.
when were you introduced or allowed, or when did you have access to a social
So
media platform?
I think I've had social media for a while, but I've also like when I was younger, my sisters helped me like kind of introduce
Mm.
it to me,
Yeah.
which like it was kind of a nice way to like communicate with them, cause like you know Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
So I would Snapchat them,
Sure.
and it kind of just like gave me like a nice like reassurance that they're still with me.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a picture of somebody's face.
Yeah, especially you're saying when they weren't there, living with you
yeah.
guys. Yeah, a way to connect with them. I think that's true of. We felt this in COVID with Zoom and these other
Yeah.
things that would allow us FaceTime to be actually, talking to people. And as you describe that to me, it says, social media is great as long as you're connecting with other human beings. Like if you make that the reason for the platform, it's a pretty powerful tool, and I think can be a really positive. How about technology in educational context, like having access to a Chromebook? I'm battling myself as a teacher. I've almost gone all digital. I'm like, okay, cool. We don't have to use paper. My students can't lose things anymore. It's all like, I can literally, it's right here, and we can link to stuff. But I also am like, from an engagement standpoint and from distractibility, I'm almost like, man, some paper, I might need to go back to that sometime. So what's your perspective on technology in regards to how you're learning?
I think it's a good thing. Like you said, like you can't lose anything. Yeah. Everything's online. Like you can share the documents with your teacher. So I personally like everything online.
Yeah.
But I also think that using pen and paper could be also really useful.
Yeah, and it might be partially, I'm introducing kids to this for the first time, so it might be they're like struggling through it. It'd be like transitioning from, I'm used to writing things down on paper and pencil, to they need to like work through that to be successful eventually at high school with everything digital. Do you find it distracting? Like, do you have the tabs you're clicking to and the?
It can be like that sometimes. Like sometimes I'll have like 10 or 15 tabs open at the top, and it's like, dang, this is kind of overwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, I know I could hand out a worksheet, and when I say that, I'm not just trying to, like, not busy work, but brainstorming or thought thinking around something. And I know it would take 20 minutes, where if I assign the same thing digitally, they could stew on it for a week, because they're not just doing that. They're also clicking on other things and being distracted. And so, fighting that distractibility is key here, I think. We're at the end of the podcast here. You got anything else? Last sort of bits of wisdom, anything that you think students should start doing now, so that when they're sitting in your shoes in 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, that they will be a better version or more successful?
Just take school really seriously and just live in the moment. Take every day one by one.
How do you tell me what taking school seriously would look like? Like, what are some action steps that a student could do or take that maybe you didn't do, or you finally figured out and are doing that?
Just being on top of your homework. There's no reason why your homework should be late.
Yeah.
I mean,
so doing the work.
Yeah, doing the work that should be.
Are they more forgiving at the high school? Like, what's that? I've personally, I don't do late credit anymore. I just take it. It's like no problem. Like, I'm like, I want the work, turn it in. If you're busy, like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Does that still happen at the high school, or are there some penalties involved?
They're still super flexible, which is really nice. If you like, because sometimes you are really busy and aren't able to get the homework done. So it's nice that they're flexible. Yeah,
I think the real world responds that way. Like, I can, no matter what I'm working on, what project, if I reach out to that person, I'm like, man, I just have this and this. Can we push that back?
Yeah.
They're going to say yes. Like, they want me to do the best work that I can. It's when people take advantage of that, or they're, they aren't truly busy, or they could have gotten it done. And so that's the I think, as the student, the thing that you have to like juggle of like, as you said, if you just execute and actually do the things, and on the rare moment that you need the extra time, it's there, and flexing that is important. Cool. All right. Just do the work. You heard it from Carson. Cool, man. Well, thank you. I wish you the best of luck. Do you have any idea of a major?
Oh, yeah, business.
Business. And then do you kind of see where that takes you, or do you have an idea of what life might look like for you in 4 or 5 years out in the real world?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it day by day.
Yeah, just kind of see what that looks like. Does have you checked it all? And I'm just curious, does OWU have like internships?
They do.
Do they get you out in the world?
Yeah, so they do internships. They have a really good business school. So I'm going to minor in entrepreneurship too. So
awesome.
It's gonna be good.
But no idea of what you think that business might look like.
No.
Yeah. Do you think you want to work for yourself then?
Yeah.
Like, you think you'll start your own company?
That's the main goal.
Yeah. Well, have you thought about real estate at all?
I have thought about real estate. That would be really cool though.
Yeah, I would. I feel like it scratches that itch of like running a business and also being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a book when we're done here, but it's all about how important assets are, and owning things is how you truly build wealth. And I think real estate can do that. So cool. And I love that OWU that they have internships. I think most colleges are transitioning, as high schools and middle schools are, of trying to get you out in the real world to experience things before you actually like jump out into the real world. And a business degree and an entrepreneurial degree, I say, like, I don't care even if you end up going to work for somebody, have an entrepreneurial mindset, which just means you solve problems. Like it's the best skill set to have. So I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to hearing about your basketball season.
Thank you so much.
You got it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. As always, thank you to my guests for taking time to sit down and share their experience with us. A shout out to Augie Husto for creating the original audio used in this episode. Another shout out to all my listeners. In a content-rich world, I am humbled by those who take the time to hear the reflection, introspection, and advice offered inside these recordings. I truly believe this podcast has made me a better teacher, father, and overall human being. I hope you find that to be true as well. Until next time, be kind, be grateful, be you.